Our next guest is pretty impressive. They call him Tiger, and he is the president of the American Tort Association. We've got to find out more about, first and foremost, welcome to the show. What is a tort?
Well, I mean, a tort in the classic sense is, I guess the sort of technical term would be kind of a non-consensual relationship. A contract is an agreement. Tort is the opposite. It's, you know, I run into you with my car. We didn't agree to do that in advance. It's just that sort of happenstance that involves a personal injury. Simplest way to put it, I think.
Well, thanks for that explanation. And what has you concerned about torts?
Well, we're concerned about excesses in the civil justice system that our tort law is at the core of. The report that we've issued, the Judicial Hellholes report, highlights the places where we believe that the sort of the balance system that should work out, balancing the interests of plaintiffs and defendants, simply doesn't take place. These are, you know, the importance of this report is we highlight the places where the lawyers who represent plaintiffs want to bring cases because it works in their interest, but not necessarily in the broader public interest.
Can you expand on that? Do you feel like the rewards are just out of whack?
Well, usually that's the result. But here's an example. You're based in Atlanta, Georgia. We highlighted in the report a case involving Kroger. There was a carjacking that took place in the parking lot of a Kroger, very near where you are. And the civil justice system processed this case and resulted in an $80 million award. Nearly $70 million of it was assessed against Kroger. Well, Kroger, it was their parking lot, but you had a crime committed, and yet the individual who committed the crime was assessed a small fraction of the award. So the large award is the result, but when you have a system, when the process and the rules don't work properly, that's the result that you get. And I think that case is a perfect example of the kind of matter that, you know, that we highlight.
Absolutely. And can the decisions that seem so out of whack, as I mentioned before, go to a higher court, like through an appeals?
Well, you can appeal. You certainly can. But ultimately, you know, well, first off, you got to understand that to file an appeal, oftentimes you have to post a bond. So there's a significant cost. There's a burden to litigation. Litigation is time consuming and it's expensive. Litigation ought to move quickly. There should be more and more processes like arbitration to help move through matters and resolve disputes and conflicts in a more equitable way.
Well, Tiger, with all that said, what is the call to action?
Well, anybody listening should understand, number one, that this is important. This impacts our economy, the people's ability to start and generate business, to hire people. It impacts how much people get paid. So number one, recognize that this is important. It impacts people. It's not just a matter for lawyers. And go to your public officials, your state legislators, your members of Congress and others, and educate them on the importance of this issue. Make sure they know it's important and hold them accountable if and when opportunities for reform come about.
Well, as we wrap up, you've been very informative to us, but I'm sure many of us want to go to learn more. So where can we go?
Well, I would encourage people to learn more about the report, learn about where the judicial hellholes are. You can find that at our website, judicialhellholes.org. It's a fairly lengthy report, but it's broken up into sections. You can see if, you know, an area where you or members of your family live and learn about the issues that we raise and help to bring about important reforms.
Absolutely. Glad we made time for this segment today. Very informative, very important. Thanks for joining us, and thank you for the work that you do.
Thank you, Conn. Thanks for having me on.